itself, but the protein around the nerves. The phospholipid protein on each one of our cells throughout our entire body, every cell. The soft tissue, the muscle tissue. There was one more, do you remember? So with the electrical system, that's our first primary focus, because everything's electrical. We don't get, the egg doesn't get fertilized by the sperm unless there's an electrical recognition there that takes place. Our electrical receptors in our mouth, everything, our senses on our skin, they're all electrical, and that's our first primary focus. And so that's where everything that we, that's the foundation. For instance, we'll talk about Lyme a little bit. Everyone familiar with Lyme, pretty much. With our technology, we're able to see into the body and look into the body, and we've identified over 100 different Lyme bacterial mutations right now. And they're showing up everywhere, even in air samples. So our view of Lyme is it's airborne. So another little disclaimer is some of the things that I'm going to share with you may be a little shocking or disturbing, because we're finding things that are not in your mainstream information on the internet or in the academia. We're finding things out that are a little bit contrary, like Lyme's, over 100 different strains, and being airborne. This seems, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, how can that even be possible? So hopefully that's not too unrealistic for you to perceive as a possibility. And then we'll talk about cancer. And cancer, in our opinion, is aligned with Dr. Hamer, and you can check this fellow out too, German New Medicine, or New German Medicine. His website is
newmedicine.ca.
newmedicine.ca. Cancer, in our opinion, is the end of the healing process. If it's real cancer. So there's two different kinds of cancer in our world, and that's the real cancer, the end of a healing event, and then there's the AMA cancer, which is based on pathogens or some other markers in the blood. Has anyone here ever had cancer? So there's two different kinds, and most people are not even aware of this other kind of cancer. We had a gentleman yesterday over in, where were we yesterday, Nancy?
West Iceland.
What's this? How do you say that?
West Iceland.
Iceland. He developed cancer a year after his wife died. And there was another gal there too that was shortly after an emotional thing. And we find that a lot. I've had cancer on my scans a couple of times, so it's down there. And then we have a lot of people coming to us with cancer diagnosis, and not very many of them actually have real cancer, but they have these different infections. We have a book. Where did you find that information? In our 3-ring binder? We actually have identified the medical system of when they're looking at your blood samples, or their biopsy tissue samples, they actually identify or culture the organisms in there, and then they give you a stage of cancer based on the strain and the colony count of the infection, or the size of the infection. That's our view on cancer. We're able to distinguish the difference using our technology, the difference between the infection